We've got another classic Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes matchup brewing here in the AFC Championship as the Bills beat the Ravens and the Chiefs beat the Texans into the divisional round. Now, Buffalo will be traveling to Kansas City for this amazing matchup. My name is Tyler, here with my brother Ryan. We're going to break down this AFC Championship game for you and who we have winning at the very end of the video. But before we get into that, if you want to find a place that just talks about football and you can put away some of the other things that are going on in your life, subscribe to the Tracy Take. Tackle that bell to get notified when new videos come out. And while you're at it, leave a like and a comment. Let us know who you want to win this game and why. And Ryan, this is going to be such a fun matchup here. I feel like, once again, these two teams are going up against one another in the playoffs here. We had a little bit of a break from their – no, they played in each other in last year's playoff because the Kansas City went into Buffalo and beat them.
Yeah.
So I think they played each other. It seems like almost every playoff, I feel like.
That was the Tyler Bass missed field goal, I believe.
Tyler Bass missed field goal. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so then we're not too far removed from the absolute, probably the greatest, one of the greatest games I've ever seen was just that crazy final 60 seconds of regulation with like all the Tyreek Hill, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs touchdowns. That was only a couple of years ago also. So we get another one of these matchups here. What's so funny about that, and I feel like even the game I just talked about, I feel like this game's going to be totally different. Very defensive focused. Lower scoring, a lot of strategy and like chess pieces being moved, trying to methodically move the ball down the field. As Buffalo, they were able to come out hot and played well enough to beat Baltimore. They got a little lucky, I will say. Baltimore shot themselves in the foot several times, a couple key turnovers in the first half. And then Mark Andrews, unfortunately, just did not have the second half that he was wanting to have. And so we're thinking about that drop 2-point conversion as well. Kansas City, they hosted Houston. They took care of business. I thought defensively, they looked solid. I think defensively, they are one of the best defenses in the league. Offensively, though, I know there's a lot of questions for this Kansas City Chiefs team as well. To be fair, I thought the Texas defense played well, but I know there's a lot of people saying that the Chiefs got some help. I think here. So going to be very interesting on this matchup here, as you're going to have Taylor Swift fans versus Haley Steinfeld fans. And so, sorry, I had to throw that in there. Ryan did not want me to bring that up. I'm like, no, it's too good. I think it's too good.
I just don't think the viewers of this video really care about.
No, they don't. It has absolutely no impact on the game at all. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, and this is going to be another classic matchup. Anytime you get two great quarterbacks going head-to-head in an AFC Championship game, I think it's just a recipe for success for the NFL and kind of what they want revenue-wise, product on the field-wise. This is going to be another epic matchup, and kind of getting into it. This Chiefs defense is one of the best in the league. They stop the run really well. They don't miss a lot of tackles. They don't allow a lot of air yards in the passing game. So just a really solid, well-coached defense and well done by Steve Spagnuolo. And this Bills offense, this is the most efficient Bills offense I think we've ever seen with Josh Allen under center. They've done a fantastic job limiting the turnovers. They've done a fantastic job creating just massive amounts of production in key moments throughout this entire season. So all in all, this is just going to be one heck of a game. To me, what's really going to come down to what this matchup's really going to come down to is, one, can this Chiefs offense consistently move the football? Sean McDermott is not going to let the Chiefs come in here and try to make big plays. They're going to play disciplined defense. They have good eye discipline. They have good zone discipline. And the other thing is, if the Chiefs can come in here and make plays consistently and methodically move the football, can they convert in the red zone? I think that is going to be really crucial for this offense, because they have stalled out a lot in the red zone. And this to me is just like my biggest gripe. I think with this Chiefs team is like, this offense has just not held up their end of the bargain. And to me, it's largely hindered by this very lackluster offensive line. Granted, Will Anderson, top 3 pick in the 2023 NFL draft. And he just absolutely dominated in this game. I do think Buffalo is going to be creative with some of the blitzes that they send. However, I don't think they really have to send a lot of blitzes. I think Greg Rousseau, Von Miller, in that pass rush group, AJ Epinesa, like, they're just going to be able to generate pressure. And the other thing too that they did really well in that initial matchup was keep Patrick Mahomes in the pocket, and not let him get out and extend plays, and let Ed Oliver and Matt Milano come up the A and B gaps and just absolutely collapse the pocket. So I think that's going to be a really crucial matchup. There is just, can this offensive line keep Patrick Mahomes upright? And then I'm going to throw this in because this really pissed me off in this uh, divisional round matchup. Are the refs going to throw flags on the Bills if they touch Patrick Mahomes? Because I'm sorry, that was absolutely ridiculous. That roughing the passer call was questionable at best, and then the late slide call is absolutely atrocious. The Texans defenders, one, didn't even hit him, and two, how are you going to penalize those guys for Patrick Mahomes sliding as he's getting his as he's about to get hit? Like
Yeah.
that is on Patrick Mahomes to protect himself and Patrick Mahomes only. And so that was an absolutely abysmal flag. The other thing too, Jawan Taylor false starts on every single pass blocking rep. He leans back and rocks every single time. There was another on the Chiefs' second possession. They ended up punting, so it didn't result in points. Patrick Mahomes scrambled and ran for a first down. Jawan Taylor is clearly not like holding the edge, just in like plain sight, and they don't throw a hold. So that to me, like the refs did not have an outcome on the Texans game. There were some awful calls, but Houston left way too many plays on the field for that to be like an argument for the Texans. But if the Chiefs come in here, or if the Chiefs come out of this game because the refs made 2 or 3 calls that extended drives for them that allowed them to get points, that is awful, and it's happened consistently throughout this entire season. Even going all the way back to your Falcons game, I believe in week 3, there was the no pass interference call as Kyle Pitts is getting assaulted in the back of the end zone. So
Yeah. Well, I
for
think there's
me,
even 1-2 in the Bengals game the week before that put them in field goal range, but I could be wrong. And so,
the one I brought up every other week,
yeah,
that one I go back and forth on because there was early contact, but the defensive back is in position trying to make a play on the ball, and the receiver backpedaled into him. So
I
I don't,
I'm not sure which one. So, but
yeah,
let's not worry about that. But
yeah,
to finish your point,
but it's just, it's getting old. And as a Patriots fan, look, the Tuck rule was an incomplete pass. I'll admit it. Like, the Patriots got help in their dynasty run as well from officiating. I don't remember it being near this bad. Like, Chiefs fans will point to the Chris Jones hitting Tom Brady in the face when he's trying to swat a pass. I get that is the rule. In that moment, I said that was an awful call. It should not have happened. Like, the
yeah,
fact that Chris Jones' hand hit Tom Brady's helmet, like, is sad.
yeah.
So, like, these officials, I think they need to err on the side of letting the players play and stop trying to make impacts on these games.
I've definitely been one of the like a major proponent as like the NFL is not rigged. Like how it's like it's just I think the Chiefs do well in those crunch time moments where like and then the other teams just have made mistakes all season. That being said though, the NFL is not helping themselves with a couple of those calls. Like I remember even I was watching the game and I saw the rough and the passer and I immediately went to Twitter and it's because like
Oh,
everybody is just going to
hashtag
be
rigged was the number one trending hashtag.
and you watch and you do watch the play and it's like he was throwing the ball. I don't even think that they made contact to the head. And also too, it's Will Anderson as well, who was like a super explosive. Also too, another potential guy like the face of the league as well. Like he could be up there, I think, soon with the TJ Watts esque, Miles Garrett esque in the edge rushing category. Uh so they're not doing themselves any favors.
No.
I think the gripes and the complaining is absolutely justified. I I agree though. The referees didn't. I don't really think made too big of an impact in this game overall. Uh, it's just annoying to watch. Just,
Well, I
it's annoying to watch. I was and just find it's annoying to watch on all ends because at the same time, then too, if there is a questionable call, there's questionable calls on all like in all aspects of every game. But there's been so many though. The complaining after the game as well about the officiating is also getting old as well, but it's also justified. I see why people are complaining about it because it has been consistent
it feels
going
like
forward.
it's every week there's a couple calls in key situations
Yeah,
that are benefiting teams. And I also, this is not a Chiefs thing. I just, the Chiefs specific, I feel like the officiating around the league has been absolutely atrocious and continuing to decline as
Yeah.
they add more of these rules to and from the league.
Well, there's too many judgment calls. Like, even the
Yeah.
two so the one thing I like about the hands to the face, like the hitting the head, the quarterback in the head penalty, is it's
It
pretty black and white most of the time.
yeah.
There's gonna be people that will clip like this point. There's one game where it was clear miss. I feel like it's pretty black and white. But then on plays like that with Will Anderson, though, it's just the angle of the ref made it look like it was, like, straight to the head, but when you look at the replay, he didn't hit him in the head at all. And
Yeah.
I'm curious what they do in the offseason because my only thing, though, that if you make that replay, uh, or that penalty reviewable, then I feel like it's a pretty slippery slope then as well, of like, then we're now dissecting a bang bang play, like, with
Yeah.
milliseconds as well. So I don't know
Well,
where you go from there.
I also like the league has gone so far in favor of protecting the quarterbacks, which I get. Like that's like the big moneymaker for the league.
Yeah,
However, even if like I remember the Ravens game in week 1, they called a roughing the passer on Justin Matabuike, the edge rusher there, because he tried to jump up to block one of Patrick Mahomes' passes, and when he came down, his hands hit him in the head. And it's like how do you want him? What do you want him to do? Because if he doesn't jump, like Patrick
yeah.
Mahomes will just run around him. Like if he is in the air, Patrick Mahomes isn't trying to avoid him because if he falls on him, it's a flag. Like so, there's
Yeah.
the league needs to adjust the rules to be forcible and excessive. So some of these incidental or like if I slap you in the head with a helmet on, that's not doing any damage to you. Like that's not.
Well, but even then, though, too, but to your point, though, and it's still subject because, like, how do you define forcible? You know what I mean? And that's just the gray area, though. And this is where I get they're trying to protect the players, but they're also setting up. I think the refs, and not trying to defend the ref. I guess I am a little bit here, but I think they're setting
Playing
the refs
devil's
up.
advocate, it's different.
Yeah, I think they're setting the refs up to fail, though. You
Yeah,
know, in these situations, the worst one to me, and kind of like the last point of all this, but the second one though, where he slid and then it was the late hit penalty. That to me, I think, was even more egregious because at that point though, like he is a runner, and
yeah,
my immediate thought though was like, what if a running back did that? Like, is that the same thing? Because he's giving himself up, but you can do it so late now where you can just drop and you have
yeah,
this linebacker running at him and trying to make a tackle, and it's such a bang bang play where I think that was worse than the Will Anderson roughing the passer one.
yeah.
One, he didn't even touch him, and also two, when you have Troy Aikman saying it's a bad call, it's a pretty bad call.
Well,
And so, uh,
my favorite reaction, so I was actually not necessarily paying attention to the game in that exact moment of that play. I just hear Joe Buck, they throw the flag, and I just hear Joe Buck on the mic go, "Oh, come on." And
yeah,
it's like even Joe Buck was fed up with it at that point.
yeah. So
And so
oh, sorry, go ahead.
well, I was gonna say it's just this ongoing thing. It's not Chiefs specific in like the officiating has been poor. It's just there are 8 or 9 games this season where it feels like the officiating is always leaning in the favor of the Kansas City Chiefs. And personally, I'm a fan of taking the refs more out of the game than having them be more involved. And so I know adding more and more rules just gets them more involved. But all in all, I don't want the officials to become a part of this game. And to get into predictions, because we are talking about the AFC Championship game, to get into predictions here, I'm going to go with Buffalo. I think they're the better team, all in all. They have played more well-rounded football this year than not just the Chiefs, but most teams in the league. The only other team that I can really think of is going to be Detroit and Philadelphia, who have played like true, more well-rounded football. The Bills, they have an elite passing attack. When they want to, they can have an elite downhill run game. They have a really solid all-around defense, and I think if they can come in and play to those strengths, I think that's the team that can come out ahead.
Yeah, and what's interesting about this matchup is last year. Like, I think we are saying like this is the best time that Buffalo could ever play a Patrick Mahomes team in the playoffs. Like, they're at home. We were saying the exact same things about this Kansas City Chiefs offense last year. You know how it's not really that explosive. Who are they throwing it to? And now it's coming in where I feel like it's an even better matchup. They're not at home, but they played them once already this year. Now that one was at home, and they held them to under like about 250 total yards. I would say maybe 260. And the Bills, they were able to put up over 360 total yards of offense. And I think they match up well against Kansas City. It's going to be absolutely crazy at Arrowhead Stadium there. I think I was like knowing the implications and everything, trying to go for the three-peat, and it's Josh Allen and Buffalo. But I think they match up well against Kansas City. And so I think having Matt Milano over Travis Kelce is clearly not the guy as what he once was, even though he had an absolutely amazing game against Houston, 7 catches, 117 yards for a touchdown. But to your point, I think Kansas City Chiefs offensive line has never been weaker. I think the Buffalo Bills front seven is going to be able to get after it. I think they're going to be able to drop back a couple of guys as well and rely a lot on like the front four and try and contain Patrick Mahomes. There is no running game whatsoever for this Kansas City team at all. And so even
Kareem Hunt averaged 5.5 a carry against the Texans, but he had a long of 12, and it didn't feel like it was really impacting the game at all.
They had 22 total carries. So
yeah,
even Matt 21. They're counting Matt Ariza.
I was about to say, yeah.
And if you take Matt Ariza's play out of it, they had 68 total rushing yards.
Yeah,
for the entire game.
So like a little over 3 a play.
Yeah, and so I if there's ever going to be a time, and I know I said this last year, if there's ever going to be a time Buffalo can beat Kansas City, I think this is the team to do it. And so I'm going to go with Buffalo here. Also, I'll be rooting for Buffalo as well.
Yeah,
I kind of want to see just something different in the Super Bowl. And so, not saying I enjoy watching like greatness, and I think Mahomes and Kelce and Reed are some of the greatest players and coach at their position. So, but that being said, though, I kind of want to see Josh Allen in the Super Bowl. So,
I agree. I think I'm, even as a Patriots fan, rooting for Buffalo. I just genuinely think Buffalo is the better team, and I want to see a situation where the better team wins.
Yeah,
and with that being said, Patriots won a lot of games in my lifetime that they were not the better team in. They just had Tom Brady and a Hall of Fame coach, and the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes and a Hall of Fame coach, and so they could definitely pull this one out of their hat as well. So
yeah. Tom Brady normally had a better, much better offensive line though.
yeah, that's fair.
What Mahomes is dealing with this year.
Yeah, well, Mahomes is one of the. I haven't seen the numbers. I think Mahomes is one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league by.
So Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers have comparable stats this year.
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers is people asking for his head in New York. So
41 sacks on the season so far, I will say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, that is the AFC Championship game. The winner will go on to the Super Bowl, obviously. Let's go ahead. Let's wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, leave a comment on who you want to see come out ahead in this matchup. Will it be the Buffalo Bills? Will it be the Kansas City Chiefs? Other than that, we'll see you guys next time.